Yo, what's good, people? We back at it for another episode of What's the World with LJ Mental Podcast. As always, I'm your host with the most, LJ. Back up in here for another week. Yeah, it's the middle of April 2022. Got Easter coming up. Uh, Resurrection Day. But yeah, let's get up into it. So this week, just wanted to focus on something a little different. And topic today, some of the things today might be a little uncomfortable, but sometimes you just gotta tell the truth. Actually, you should always tell the truth, but sometimes it can lead to uncomfortable topics, situations that could be hard to talk about. But sometimes it just need to be addressed. So yeah, my word of the week this week is gonna be happiness. And yeah, I just want to really dive deep into, because sometimes just be having conversations with people and stuff. You might hear about stuff on TV about some bad things that happen, and or you might have some personal conversations, or it might just be how you feel yourself about certain things. And I just want to dive into, like, for one, happiness, right? And there's a lot of different layers, ways we could talk about this, right? Like how, like, for one, like, what does it take to be happy, right? In life, for you as a person. And sometimes you don't know what that is. Sometimes you might achieve certain things, and you hear the stories all the time, right? Like, oh, like, a person that's like, you want to get to a certain status or place, and you achieve that, and like you hear all the time, like, oh, they unhappy, or man, they miserable, whatever the case is. But things too, like some things that some people don't point out. So it's not just the money for people. It's just some people, like, you got people out here broke that's unhappy too, or not even broke, but in a regular job that's unhappy. It's all kind of people that's unhappy, right? Um, for one, so like I don't know, like, cause I haven't achieved that status yet, being rich, so I can't speak on that personally, not yet, anyway. But I'm gonna get there though. But and it's not even about the money. For me, it's about, like, for one, being able to basically do whatever I want. Want to be given being, for one, financially free. For myself, being able to help me and my family, and to actually be able to do whatever I want to do and not have to worry about no bills, finances, all that good stuff. Because for one, bills don't care. Bills don't care how you feeling, how you going. No, bills ain't going away. So, and it's a lot of everybody's life, everybody's situation different. But yeah, happiness. What does it take really to be happy? Like, some people, happiness on the real shouldn't dictate the circumstances of your life. You gotta find your own happiness. Like, and there's some people that really do that. I know this job I used to work at years ago. He was always like, I don't know if he was genuinely happy, like, at home, but at the job I was at, like, he was always like, man, full of life, full of, like, energy, like, no matter what's going on, every single day, like, he was consistent. And I'm starting to realize, like, man, I don't know if we could call that a skill, but it feels like that's a skill. Because I don't think everybody can do that. Like, some people just channel that, because, I mean, not that, because you experience different emotions, right? And some people look at it like, oh, why is he so happy all the time? But I'm like, man, as I really look at people like that, I'm like, man, I honestly wish I had the ability to do that, because I have my good days where I want to be happy all the time. Not that I'm going to be rude to people, because I'm not. But some days, like, yeah, I'm full of life, and some days I just don't want to be bothered with nobody. I just want to be left alone, especially depending on what type of day I'm having. It's normal, right? But some people just be like, man, I don't know if they genuinely really are that way, like, feeling like happy, but man, they just display like, man, like, they're like, man, happy Monday, happy Tuesday, happy Wednesday, happy whatever day it is. They always say that. And they always full of, full of life, full of like energy, full of like, and there's people out there that got that ability, right? But some people don't. And we all a work in progress, right? You don't ever stop growing. I don't care if you 15, 35, 25, 85. You never stop learning in life. Obviously, like, the older you get, you should learn more, right? And you make conscious decisions, right? That's what you should do as you get older. But um, you never stop learning, right? And the main focus I wanted to get at is like the different drivers of, you know, like what leads to a downward spiral of your mental, right? Because the mental, your mental mind, your mental health is just as important, if not more important, than your physical. Because honestly, like, you need the mental to even achieve something physical. Like, the people that play sports, right? They say like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go out there and achieve that, or I'm gonna go out there and score 30, 50, whatever tonight. I'm gonna go out there and go work out, right? I'm gonna go ahead and bench this amount, right? You gotta put that in your mind to go ahead and do that. Even if you're not able to bench as much right now, you gotta put that, set that goal in your mind, right? To go ahead and do that. Let's say like, okay, I bench like, I don't know, 220. I want to get to 300, 320, whatever it is. So set that in your mind, like, yeah, I'm gonna make sure I do this. Or if somebody give up, say like, oh fuck that, I ain't gonna do that. Like, I don't want to do that. It's too hard, or whatever it is. That's still your mind. Whether you will choose to keep going and give up, making choices. So that's in the mental. Um, and I know it's a lot of big talk about mental health right now. A lot of people talking about going to therapy, and you know, or really, it's really just about talking to somebody, that really can understand. Sometimes you need an honest ear, but somebody who's not gonna be harsh, but somebody who's caring, right? All those layers are important, right? I think so. Some people don't got nobody to talk to, or somebody don't got nobody they could, lean on. But happiness is a very important part of life. And I'm like, man, what does it take to really be happy? And everybody's answer could be different. It could be like, I don't know, I know as a dude, who knows, it could be like, you want the fly cars, you want the women, you want a big house, you want to go on vacation all the time, you want a certain status to get recognized, you want popularity, like whatever, like, but I mean, that material stuff really don't matter. Like, at the end of the day, none of that shit really matter. On the real, some people it do, but the surface, that shit really don't matter. It don't. And sometimes you gotta find your own happiness, and life really is what you make it. You don't like something, you gotta try and do your best to go ahead and change it about your life. You're not happy with your situation. I felt that way a few times about not being happy with my certain situation. Like, I did my best to try and change it, whether it's like, okay, I don't like this job, right? You can't force another job to hire you, but best you can do is apply, right? Or, I don't know, you might live in Ohio, but want to move to Miami, or you live in, I don't know, you might live in Iowa, but want to move to Houston or LA, whatever. But well, you could go out there and say, make you're not happy where you at in life. Literally, you gotta do your best to go ahead and change it. So like, we got all these different things, right? That really think we want. But what does it take to? And sometimes it does work out for people where like, okay, they achieved certain situations, they happy, but they not satisfied. They just want to keep going, right? And then, man, life is like truly complex. the body itself is complex. We experience all these different emotions, right? When somebody die, we sad. If you, especially if you really care about them, or in certain situations, happy, we angry, or we frustrated, disappointed, or we achieve certain stuff, we happy. Even in times you happy, or not necessarily happy, but deal with it. But yeah, I just been really thinking about this for a minute, and I was trying to think like when would be a good time to talk about this, because I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. I just didn't know how I was gonna put it in the episode. But yeah, I've been wanting to talk about something like this for a while, especially after conversations I've been having with certain people, and just certain stuff I've seen, like people commit, for one, committing suicide, and man, like, I've known people personally in the past that have committed suicide. Man, it's just like, and you just never knew. Like, it seemed like they was good, but you just really never know. I mean, I heard somebody last week, a judge committed suicide. A judge. That's crazy. I can, yeah, I think it was my hometown, Buffalo, I believe, or somewhere. I haven't been in Buffalo, living there 6 years, but yeah, I think that's where I heard that yeah, that the judge committed suicide. But yeah, it's this stuff is crazy. You just really don't know people, are they truly happy? Like, is it because like you would think, right? If somebody's genuinely happy, they wouldn't even want to or think about taking their own life, right? Or they'd be able to. It is easier to function for one when you're happy, right? That's part of your mental mind state, because that leads to the physical. If you're not mentally right upstairs, I'm not even talking about no crazy stuff, no whether you schizophrenic or no got mental illness or whatever. I'm not even gonna get into any of that, because some of these disorders they say that some people have, uh, I don't think is always the case. Uh, Especially like, but yeah, I'm not gonna get into that because I'm not like an expert on that type of stuff, so I'm not gonna really get into that. But but yeah, I'm just talking about strictly like the basic mindsets, right? Of happiness, like what leads to sadness, like growth mentally. Maybe you've been broken, right? Maybe you got some people out there that's been physically abused. Some people that's been mentally abused, which is a thing. You can get talked down on so much, whether it's from a parent or a so-called significant other, because you hear the stories, right? Like, especially like back in the day where, I don't know, a dude, whether it's a dude talking crazy to a girl until she ain't shit, he ain't never gonna be shit and nothing. And don't think it's just that girls that experience it. There's definitely some men that get mentally abused too. Like, whether like you feel like, oh, he's on a certain job and uh, he's not handling his business as a man. How you think they make that man feel? It don't. And like, we can't think too and make a man soft to talk about the feelings, because it don't. You could still be an alpha male and have feelings and cry even. We can't be out here thinking like just because a dude cries, especially like, I don't know if this is a thing in the white community or any other communities, but I know as you black and you come from the hood, like it's looked at as a weakness if you like look sad, or if you um experience some type of it looks weak if you cry, but it's really not a weakness. It's actually a strength, because you're not afraid to show your emotion. And if you really not afraid to cry, because sometimes you gotta let it out, especially if some really bad shit happened, whether it seemed like nobody care about you, or nobody, it's not a weakness at all. Like, to let it out, sometimes you gotta let it out. And it shows you don't give a damn what nobody think. So, to really let it out. But you might need that support from somebody. Everybody needs somebody, right? No matter how tough you are, no matter how much you think you got shit together, everybody needs somebody, even if they don't want to admit it. I know some females out here that's saying they don't need nobody, they don't need a man or whatever. But we all need somebody, right? And I like to help us get through, whether it's some people look at financial status, or you really just need somebody there to, really be there for you as far as your mental mind state to make you happy, right? Happiness is a very important part of life because none of us were asked to be here. We were just born, you know. Our parents got together. Every human being on this planet, two people got together, and that's how we was made, right? So, but two people got together, laid down, and we was conceived. So none of us was really asked to be here, but while we here, I don't know. I mean, and sometimes you look at in happiness, right? And sometimes you can be, and it's another thing too. You can be happy and not settle for where you at right now too. So that's what I'm working on. Be happy but not settle for where I'm at. Because you hear some people say like, because honestly, like I've been complaining about certain stuff, and sometimes you hear people say like, "Oh, be thankful what you got," like, "Oh, because it can be," which is true. You can be thankful for this and that, but you know, be appreciative to God definitely. But that don't mean you gotta settle for where you at. You go work towards more, whether it's, and it's not always just financial or money. It could be work towards more as far as like growth with your loved ones, work towards your own mental mind state, and there's so many different layers of life. Like man, this stuff is crazy. And but yeah, back to the whole people commit suicide thing real quick because that's just wild. Like what this man like? I wonder what it gets to the point where people really want to like just take themselves out. Like man, you just really never know. And most of the time, it seemed like man, it seemed like they got their stuff together. Not always the case, cause sometimes you could tell like they not right. But sometimes like you just like man, you just never know. Like seem like they got their stuff together, and they just like man, like you just never know. Like, and I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I was in a dark place. I've been in a very dark place before where I'm just like man, I've never wanted to off myself though. I've never wanted to like commit a suicide like ever. I've never like when it's been times where I just didn't care about anything. Like certain times where I just was going through certain stuff, and like I feel like it was heavy. Like man, I can't catch a break. I'm catching hell from all angles, and I was just in a very dark place. I was in a deep depression at one point. I'm not there now. I mean, I'm honestly not really happy where I'm at right now. I'm not, honestly, I'm not. I don't think I'm feel happy right now, and I'm just really wondering what it takes to be happy. But I've never ever got to a point where I wanted to off myself. I've never felt like, yeah, I just want to just take myself out. Like I've never felt that way. You know, I've been in a deep depression before, and I just like certain days, I just didn't care about nothing. I just wanted to be completely left alone. But I never wanted to, take myself out. But I'm just like, man, what does it really take to be happy? Like it's really been on my mind for a little minute now. Like, and I think it's a very important topic for everybody. Maybe some of y'all genuinely are happy, and like, did it take something for you to get happy, for you to be that way? Like, have you always just genuinely been that way? And it's like, Like the world, like the mental mind is, the brain is so complex, right? And everybody's thinks differently, right? And there's some people really out here that just don't let, no matter what's going on, they just don't get to them. I ain't gonna lie, I wish I was like that. And I've gotten better over the years how I handle tough situations. And I used to be really bad with her as far as like, man, stressing over certain stuff. I'm like, man, why is this going this way? Like, we all a work in progress. We all gonna always be a work in progress, right? But like, man, what does it take to really be happy? What does it take to be, I want to say fulfilled, like you can, but like, what does it take to really genuinely be happy? Like, genuinely be happy. I'm appreciative, and honestly, I am blessed because it could be a lot worse. Like, I got my health, uh, not on the street somewhere, but like there's a lot of things to be grateful for, even though you ain't might necessarily be where you want to be. But like, yeah, it's just this something that's been weighing on me for a little minute now, and I wanted to talk about it in an episode, and I wanted to address it with people because I think it's a very important topic that people need to address. People talk about mental health, right? I'm not sure if people truly dive into, like, are you genuinely happy with your life? Are you genuinely happy with yourself? Do you genuinely love yourself? Because honestly, you gotta love yourself, right? And I know this definitely been talked about, right? As far as you gotta love yourself before you can love somebody else, which is true. Um, yeah, you gotta genuinely, you ain't gotta lie to people. You gotta genuinely ask yourself, do you love yourself? Me, yes, I do love myself. I always been confident in myself, my abilities. Uh, but some days it's just like, man, life is a trip. Life is hard. Life ain't no joke. This stuff we all here on this planet Earth. Um, I mean, it could be life. I think it might be life on other planets. That's a topic for another day that I might dive into. But yeah, but as far as we all share this planet, right? Planet Earth together, right? Almost 8 billion people. Like, how many of them are really happy, I wonder? In America, in Canada, in Mexico, Colombia, Brazil, Japan, Germany, uh, wherever. Like, all these people on this planet, like, how many of them are actually happy? Australia, wherever. Like, like this, man, like, cause the world is so complex, the world's so vast. Like, we all going on with our lives, right? We all, if you're an adult, even sometimes if you're a teenager, we all gotta go to work, school, whatever, carry on with our lives, be busy, whatever. Or some people might not literally have nothing to do. It's definitely some cats out here that literally ain't doing nothing. Like, are you fulfilled? Are you really happy though? That's the real question. There's certain things that I'm doing right now that I'm happy with. Um, like, I'm happy being a creative for one. Uh, for one example, this platform I'm on. Uh, you know, do design work, photography, all that good stuff. But I don't know, just certain things that I don't know. Honestly, I'm not truly happy right now. I can get there. I know I've experienced happiness before. I know for a fact I have. But to maintain that every single day, that's a beautiful thing. Where you don't even gotta think about it. You just genuinely happy. Like, what does it take to really get to that place? You know? And that's something that's really, especially like, because we all got different experiences in life. Some of us grow up really way harder than others. Um, and there's always somebody literally that got it worse. Like I said, there's almost damn near 8 billion people on this planet. And that's something my mama told me growing up, right? Somebody always got it worse. We experience certain stuff. We may have been through a lot. There's somebody that always got it worse, and that's something that's really I think we should focus on, not just today, but on like a daily basis. We don't have to daily sit there and think every day like, am I happy? But like every once in a while, just figure out like, okay, so like, if you are genuinely happy, then maybe you ain't gotta worry about it. But I think a lot of people, more so, they be trying to tell themselves they good, but they really not. Not that they like genuinely something truly wrong with them, but I think happiness is a very important part of life, and I want to get there. I think I have experienced it before. There's times where I was genuinely all the way around happy, but yeah, I want to not get back to, because I used to say like, okay, yeah, I was at a height at a certain point in my life, but I don't want to go back to no old version of me. I want to be better me. And we shouldn't be even looking back, right? We should be looking forward to be better than we were at our so-called highest moment. If you even if you at a low point right now, if you at a high point or medium point, wherever you at, if you, the important part is like be better than you were yesterday, where you were 5 years, 10 years ago. So yeah, that's something that, because genuinely like we should care about each other. I know a lot of people like, especially nowadays, unfortunately, seem like nobody really care about others. Unfortunately, and I wish it wasn't that way, but that's life, right? But genuinely, I mean, I care, right? I mean, obviously we can't help everybody, but even if I could just help one person, right? Whether that's, I don't know, get them some to eat, or even if it's I could talk to them to help them, you be better, be actually happy. So yeah, that's gonna be it for me today. So took a little bit different direction on how I approached this thing, on trying to get at a couple different layers as far as like happiness and different emotions, how we going how we deal with certain things. As I think it's an important part of life that we need, because we all carry on with our lives no matter what's going on, and we're not really dealing with it. We just keep trying to, I don't know, push stuff with the world or block it out. But yeah, we really need to start dealing with our stuff and start saying like, oh, we're genuinely happy. So yeah. As always, I hope everybody listen. If you're not happy, try to do whatever it takes that can make you happy. I hope everybody can be happy, be positive. You know what I mean? So yeah, remember to always stay safe, stay positive, definitely stay sucker free. All right, I'm out.